Good afternoon, sir. I think where we left off, you indicated you had a conversation with the defendant in the driveway of his home.
That's correct.
Okay. And when you first encountered him, there was some discussion about the vehicle. Is that right?
That's correct.
And he indicated that it wasn't stolen.
Correct.
It was somewhere else.
Correct.
What did he say?
He indicated that his boy O has it.
Okay. And then after that, did you, I think you indicated he described who O was.
Yes.
Your Honor, I object. This has been already asked and answered.
Objection sustained.
Okay. At some point, I think where we broke off, I had asked you a question about did he say anything else to you?
Correct.
Okay. And what else did he say to you?
He informed us that the particular vehicle, the 2013 Chevy Suburban, was rented from Enterprise Rent-A-Car in Route 1 in North Attleboro.
Okay. And then what after that?
We inquired.
Objection, Your Honor. This has been asked and answered. We left off with the question was, where does he live? And the answer was, I have his address and my GPS inside. So let's continue from there.
You can go from there,
Okay.
if there's anything.
At some point in time, did he indicate, right before lunch, had I asked you the question about when he had last, did he make a statement about last seeing?
Objection, asked and
Objection is
answered.
sustained. Leading question.
What else did he say?
He informed.
Objection, unless we're moving forward, Your Honor.
Overruled. What else did he say?
Thank you. We inquired. It was the last time he saw him. He indicated.
Objection,
up there
move to strike.
Overruled.
He indicated up there yesterday.
Okay.
We asked him where Odin lived. He indicated, I have that in my GPS
So
inside my
this is
home.
what else he said, other than what you've already testified. If there's anything else, answer.
When he said up his way yesterday, when he made that statement, what day was it?
The 16th, sir.
Okay, 16th, what time?
We didn't get into the time.
No, I'm sorry. What day were you there?
Oh, the 17th.
Okay, and what time were you there?
Approximately 9:40. At that time was, when he came out, was approximately 10:30 p.m.
Okay, and what day of the week was it?
Monday.
Okay, and when he indicated up his way yesterday, what day was that?
Objection.
You may answer as, you may ask only as to what day they were inquiring, not what someone else had in mind, or the meaning of what someone else said.
Okay. The day before, yesterday, on Monday at 10:30 in the evening, when was yesterday?
Sunday, sir.
Okay, and what date was that?
The 16th of June,
Now,
2013.
after you had asked about where does Odin live, and he responded, as you've already testified, what happened at that time? Were you making observations of the defendant?
Yes, yes.
Did you notice anything about
Yes.
his demeanor at that time?
Yes, he became agitated, upset, and then he turned away from us and said, what's up with all the questions? He turned away from us, walked away from us, walked and progressed towards the front entrance of the home, and then as he got to the steps, he quickly paced up those particular steps and began to, motion towards the front door.
Did he say something before he went into the home?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. Could we come to the sidebar, please?
You may.
Sir, you indicated that you noticed a change in his demeanor.
Yes.
What direction, what happened at that time?
He immediately, he stated to us, what's up with all the questions? Immediately stopped, turned away from us, walked away from us, progressed towards his walkway that leads into the front, front area of his home, and then began to quickly step up the stairs, and then progressed to the front entrance to the doorway.
Okay. And then prior to him going into the home, did he say something else to you?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said, "You guys aren't coming in here."
Okay.
And
After he did that, did he go in the home?
yes, he did.
And the door, was it open or closed at that time?
The door was open.
And what happened when he went into the home?
We began to follow him as he walked up the walkway and progressed to the front entrance. We
And
informed him.
And excuse me for interrupting, but did the door get closed? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. After that, did you and Trooper Shervin go somewhere?
Yes.
Where did you go?
We then, once he closed the door, we retreated back to Trooper Shervin's unmarked vehicle.
Okay. And at the vehicle, did you remain at the vehicle for some period of time?
Yes.
How long?
I believe approximately 10 minutes or so.
Okay. And how long had now you been, approximately what time was this?
This would, I say now, approximately 10:40.
Okay, so how long had you been at this home?
From 9:40 to 10:40. Now,
Okay. And so you've indicated that you went back to the car. You were there for approximately 10 minutes. What happened after that 10 minutes?
at that time, we observed Mr. Hernandez. He came outside, progressed from the walkway outside the front door, walked towards his driveway, came down that way. We had stepped out of the car, and he informed us that he would be coming down the station to talk to us.
Okay. And so outside, when you first interacted with him, just describe how he was dressed.
He was wearing dark-colored shorts, and I believe a dark shirt at the time.
Okay.
Like a T-shirt. I mean, yeah, T-shirt and shorts.
Did you
And
notice any?
flip-flops.
I'm sorry. Did you notice any change with this when he now has come back out of the home the second time?
The second time, he had changed his clothing. I mean,
Okay. And just describe what he's wearing at that time.
different colored shorts, different colored top, I believe, as well.
Okay. After he'd come out and made that statement, did you see him go somewhere?
Yes.
Where did he go?
He'd gone back in the house. We saw him come out again. He had now he had like dark-colored sweatpants, and then a hoodie, like I think it was like a gray or dark-colored hoodie. And then he came out at that time and walked towards his vehicle and waited for his girlfriend to come out of the house.
Okay. How long did you now wait once he had come out of the home?
Again, from approximately, at that time, from 10:40 until approximately 11:03, he eventually left in his white Audi. He was driving that particular vehicle. His girlfriend came inside the car with a baby,
Okay.
and they drove to the station.
Okay. And when they drove to the station, did you also head to the station?
Yes, sir.
And when you arrived at, did you see them arrive at the station?
Yes, that is correct.
And what happened when they arrived at the station?
At that time, he exited the car. He walked into the police station. His girlfriend, Shayana, then got inside the Audi, and then she had taken off with the little one in the car.
And after she had taken off with her infant child, did you do anything?
I was in the car with Trooper Shervin. When Cheyenne had left in that Audi Sport Utility vehicle, they had progressed out from the police station lot and began to travel, would be east on Chestnut Street. Trooper Shervin intimately activated the blue lights to the unmarked Ford Escape, signaling to pull over. She pulled over quickly as she progressed outward. Then we pulled in behind her and then approached her.
Okay, and just without getting into any conversation, did you have a conversation with her at that time?
Yes, sir.
How long did that conversation last?
At the car?
Yes, sir.
Very brief, a couple of minutes at most.
Okay, and at some point after, did you have any further conversation after that with her?
Yes.
Okay, so as a result of your initial conversation, did she go somewhere else in the car?
Yes, she did.
And how far away was that?
20, 30 feet. I mean,
Okay.
she stopped as soon as she came out. She had made like a U-turn, came back, and she parked. We call it our employee lot where the officers that work at the department park their personal vehicles.
And did you go over and speak to her again?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes.
And just tell us how long you spoke to her at this time.
Again, approximately I'd say about maybe 5 to 10 minutes. It was brief.
Okay. And during that time, just yes or no, was she engaged in the conversation?
Yes, she was, sir, yes.
And at some point, did you see something happen?
Yes.
And what was that?
She received a phone call from Aaron,
Oh, okay.
who was in the station at the time.
And as a result of the phone call, what happened?
At that time, she had stopped talking to us. She made a phone call, and then after she made that phone call, our conversation with Cheyenne stopped.
Okay. And did you see where she went from there?
She left and headed east on Chestnut. I believe she was headed home.
Okay. Now, after that occasion, well, let me ask you this, Detective. You've had an occasion to view certain videotape, is that true?
Yes, sir.
And when you were at the home, did you observe any surveillance?
Yes, I did.
Materials, okay.
Yes, sir.
And I'm just going to show you, if I could, Your Honor, what's already been marked by agreement, Exhibit 83, 84, 85, 86, 87. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
These are 5 CDs?
Yes, sir.
And you recognize the 5?
Yes.
How do you recognize them?
My initials attached each in separate 5 particular CDs.
Okay. And DBA, your full initials?
Yes, those are my initials, yes.
Okay. And just with regard to, the first one indicates segment 1.
Correct.
Just give us just a quick summary of what's contained on the video.
Segment 1 is our arrival at 22 Ronald C. Meyer Drive, and then I believe it ends at when we walk over to Joe Judge's home at 12 Ronald C. Meyer Drive.
Okay. And you've described a certain period of time that you were at the home during that time, is that
Correct,
right?
correct.
Is it fair to say the video doesn't capture all that time? There are certain segments that were
No.
just clipped out?
Correct, it's been reduced, or
Okay.
redacted, correct.
And the segment 2, would you just generally describe what's contained on that?
Separate 2 will be a continuation. I believe it's at that time we're parked out in the street, and then that interaction on that, I believe number 2 is when he comes out of the house.
Okay. And again, was that also clipped down? It doesn't show the full amount of time that you were there?
Yes.
Okay. Segment 3, exhibit number 85, does that show the interaction with Mr. Hernandez?
Yes.
Okay. Segment 4, exhibit 86, what is that?
Again, interaction with Aaron, again, coming out of the house, we're, I believe, parked out in the street, and then he comes out of the house, etc. Same thing, we're interacting, we're outside the home.
Okay, and lastly, it says 5th segment on the CD, but exhibit 87, what is that?
A continuation, again, of him coming out of the house, and then we're leaving and following him as he leaves his particular home.
Your Honor, may I approach? Sir, earlier you indicated a photograph of Mr. Palmer's shoes.
Yes, sir.
Just going to show you this photograph. Do you recognize it?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize to be?
These are the shoes in question that I had taken from Mr. Bomberg, and I actually put a piece of paper, and that's my handwriting, just below it that I shot that particular photo. So that's my handwriting.
Your Honor, if I could, I'd offer this as an exhibit.
No objection.
Exhibit.
Exhibit 98.
Thank you. If I could publish that. Your Honor. So I'm showing you how marked is number 98. Those are shoes you photographed Mr. Bomberg's.
Yes.
And earlier, I had shown you a photograph I just have one moment.
I thought it was image 97.
Right, okay. Sir, I'm just going to put on the overhead what was previously marked as number 97. You recognize that, sir?
Yes.
And those were,
Those are my shoes I wore on, excuse me, June 13th, 2013.
okay, apparently the tag fell off, please fix that. Okay. And sir, before the lunch break, I asked you about a couple of photos, 3 photographs, I'm showing you now, 94A, you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And sir, I'm just going to direct your attention, did you mark this photograph to depict something?
Yes.
And what was that?
The showcasing that was found adjacent from Odin's head area.
Okay, and is that located here?
Yes.
Can you just point to where that is located on your screen, sir, to the left?
Okay, I'm sorry. Yep, right here.
Okay,
Correct.
you're indicating to that?
Yes, sir.
And is that your handwriting?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to show you 94B.
Right.
Okay. And did you also make similar markings?
Yes, I did.
And they, if you just point them out, this,
To the left, the far left here, you see a rock with a depression. 2 shell cases were located in that particular hole.
okay?
The next one, again, which I described, going off his left shoulder. We had his left hand like this. That would be basically number 4 shell cases I observed.
You're pointing there, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then number 5 off his left foot. You'll see the upright shell casing. That was number 5. Correct.
Right there.
Yes, sir.
And lastly, 94C from the overhead,
Correct.
and you identified that as well.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, but what was it?
That was the marijuana. That was the blunt that was located to the right of Odin, approximately 3.5, 4 feet, right to the right of his right arm. Thank you.
If I could have 1 moment, Your Honor.
May.
That's all I have. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Attorney Sullivan.
You arrived at the scene on June 17th at approximately 5:49?
5:42.
5:42?
About 5:45, correct.
I'm sorry, what was it?
About 5:45, correct.
About 5:45, okay.
Correct, sir.
And you were there around 3 hours?
Till about 8:29.
Okay.
Yep, 8:30, correct.
Okay. 2 hours and 45 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And there were several, you told us several other officers were already there when you arrived.
That is correct, sir.
And is it fair to say that about 24 other officers arrived while you were there?
Well, in different timeframes, but
Well, during the period of time that you were there, during the
Yes.
2 hours and 45 minutes that you were there,
Correct.
about 24 other officers arrived, right?
approximately.
And after you arrived, you decided to take some photographs, right?
Yes.
Okay. And, may I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Showing you a set of 48 photographs. Sector.
Yes, sir.
Just look through those
Sure.
and tell us if you can identify those as the set of photographs that you took at the scene that evening. Did you answer the question?
Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Your Honor, this is the next, these is the next exhibit. They have been pre-marked, but not pre-numbered to try to save some time.
No objection.
Minus the next exhibit.
Can we maybe number them at the end of the day, Your Honor, to save time?
If you want to be serious, let's just put the first number on there now and then the... Thank you.
You want to write the number on the front? Thank you. Thank you. Why don't you give them all back to me? I'll return them to you. Thank you. And these photos, these 48 photos, is this the complete set of the photos you took
I believe so,
that evening?
yes. I believe so, yes, the 48.
Okay. Now, and you took these shortly after you arrived there that evening, right?
Well, some, yes, and then some, as we progressed, I took them at a, in a time frame in close proximity originally, and then some are spread further down as I was interacting with a variety of things, and I took more as I was there, put it that way, best I can tell you.
So you took some right after you got there?
Yes, I started, I believe, the initial, I had timestamps on the particular photos. I believe my first photo, I believe, was at like 5:54, and they progressed. And then depending on what I was doing or being contacted by, et cetera, or conversed with my captain, et cetera, and other detectives, then I would take, more so therein.
Okay, so you began taking photos, you think, at about 5:54.
That is correct, sir.
And over what period of time did you take these 48 photos?
One more time on the question, please.
Over what period of time, Detective, did you take these 48 photographs?
I believe from 05:54 till sometime after 7 o'clock.
Okay. So you photographed some, then you waited some, then you took some more
Well,
photographs?
not like I waited. I was doing a multitude of things, and I began to take more photos based on conversation with my captain, who was conversing with Sergeant Baker from the homicide unit, who's a sergeant attached to the district attorney's office.
All right. Well, when do you think you took the last of these 48 photographs?
The last, sometime after 7.
Okay. And
There are timestamps on each and every photo.
I understand that, but
Okay, I'm
they're
sorry.
not on the
Correct.
copies
I'm
that
sorry.
we just
No,
marked.
I apologize, sir.
Okay. Now, when you got there and started taking photographs, you did not know exactly what had occurred at that scene, did you?
Other than we had an individual that appeared to have been shot multiple times. Correct.
You didn't know whether there had been one vehicle there or more than one vehicle, right?
At the onset, absolutely not. That's fair.
You didn't know how many individuals had been present, right?
Of course not.
You didn't know whether there had been a chase in that area, right?
I had no idea what transpired upon my onset getting there.
You didn't know whether someone had come or gone down that path to Landry Avenue, right?
At that time, we had no idea.
Right. So you observed some footprints in the area, right?
My first attention was drawn to Odin, and then I made some observations.
Did you answer my question, sir? Did you see some footprints in the area?
Not initially, no.
Okay. At some point after you got there, did you observe some footprints?
Footwear impressions. I call it footwear impressions. But
Okay. Footwear impressions meaning a mark on the ground that is visible, which is a mark made by somebody's shoe, right?
Yes, sir. Correct.
So should we call those footprints or shoe prints? What would you like to call them?
I call them footwear impressions.
Footwear impressions, okay.
Right.
So sometime after you arrived, did you observe some footwear impressions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you observed those footwear impressions, you didn't know how long they'd been there, right?
That is correct.
And you didn't know whether they had anything at all to do with the body of the decedent, right?
That's correct.
Now, the pictures that you took, Detective Arrighi, that night, is it fair to say that those pictures were all taken in the immediate area of the body?
Well, somewhat. If I may, the footwear impression, there was one footwear impression where his foot was, like a scuff mark area. The footwear impressions I observed within proximity, closer to his body, those footwear impressions didn't match Odin's.
Sir, I didn't ask you about matching. I asked you if you took photographs in the area of the body, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You didn't take photographs over this entire open area that night, did you?
Of footwear impressions? No, sir.
Or of anything?
Oh, yeah, I did take some, I took a multitude of shots that depicted the location, an overview of the weather that was coming in, the tree line, the fill, the fill where there's a construction site where they had large hills of composites, soil, etc. I took some preliminary photos when I was there. Those are the 48 that you have.
Okay.
Sure.
Just a moment, please. You took some photos from a longer distance, right? Away?
Yes,
Okay.
correct. From different angles.
Okay.
Correct.
But am I correct that the vast majority of these photographs were taken of the body or close to the body?
That is correct. It's
Okay.
accurate.
And you did not take photographs of footwear impressions anywhere other than right near the body, right?
That is correct. That is absolutely correct.
Okay. Now, did someone tell you what to photograph and what not to photograph that evening?
No, sir.
You were making those decisions yourself?
Yes, because, yes.
Okay. Now, Detective, are you trained in crime scene photography?
I took a generic course back in 1999 when I was appointed as a detective.
And tell us about, what do you mean a generic course?
Well,
What
I
does
took
that mean?
when I was promoted to detective, I took a class with regards to, general photography. I'm not an expert in it, but again, I have, I've been, informed as far as how to take, photography, overview shots, you want shots of, close-up shots, etc.
So back in 1999, when you first became a detective, you took some class in photography in general.
Yes, sir.
But
Correct.
you're not trained in crime scene photography, are you, Detective?
Not extensively, no.
Okay. Did you have a tripod with you?
No, not at all, sir. I had a portable Canon.
Can you just answer my question,
I'm
sir?
sorry.
Did you have a tripod with you that evening?
No, sir, I did not.
Thank you. Did you have some kind of an external light source?
No,
with
sir.
you?
No, sir.
Now, you got close to the body of the decedent and made some observations, right?
Yes, sir.
And you took some photographs, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And you told us that you also observed 5 shell casings near the body, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And they were pretty much in plain view, right?
Yes, they were.
Okay. And you took photographs of those shell casings.
Yes, I did.
And you told us on direct examination that those shell casings were between 1 foot and 5 feet from the decedent?
Approximately. Like I said, I didn't take measurements. I just shot where the, like an overall shot,
Okay.
and then I shot where the particular casings had landed.
And so you didn't, so you're not able to tell us exactly how far those shell casings were?
No, I cannot, no.
Okay.
I can just only give you an approximation.
All right. And is there some particular reason why you didn't measure the distance between the shell casings and the decedent that evening?
Yes, absolutely.
What was that reason, sir?
With the protocol with regards to homicide investigations under Mass General Law 38, Section 4, the medical examiner took jurisdiction of this particular case.
The medical examiner?
Well, yeah, they're correct. They have jurisdiction over this particular case.
The medical examiner's job is to...
No, if I may answer your question.
Go right ahead.
Please. Our sole purpose, the investigator, upon arriving at that particular crime scene, was a natural or unnatural death or death that involves violence. Our number one issue at that particular crime scene is to secure the crime scene, monitor the crime scene, and assure that that crime scene is not disrupted until the arrival of either the medical examiner, the district attorney's office, or its representative. The representative would be the state police detectives that are attached and assigned to the district attorney's office, or in fact, the DA himself who arrives at that particular location. We get our directives from either that district attorney or the state police detectives who are attached again to the DA's office, and at times they'll instruct us what to do in regards to that crime scene. So my sole purpose there that evening when I arrived and interact with Odin at that scene was to preserve that particular crime scene.
Okay. So you finished with your answer now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you're telling us it wasn't your job to take measurements, is that right?
I wasn't directed to take any measurements. My job is to ensure that that particular crime scene is not disrupted.
And how did you ensure that the crime scene was not disrupted, Detective Arrighi?
By limiting the number of people that will go to have access to that particular location, we set up a crime scene tape that would not allow any certain people into that particular crime scene. A particular officer was delegated by the captain. They documented a crime scene log as far as any persons who arrived at that particular crime scene and departed that particular crime scene. This was a joint effort to preserve that particular crime scene where Odin was found.
What did you, Detective Arrighi, do during the 2 hours and 45 minutes that you were there to preserve the crime scene, sir?
I awaited the command from the District Attorney's Office or its representative, Sergeant Paul Baker, who interacted with my captain. As we were waiting we summoned the ME, and we were also waiting the arrival of crime scene services, who are dedicated and trained in crime scene preservation. We were waiting their arrival. Unfortunately, we had some intangibles that came our way. We had an impending storm coming our way. Upon conversing with Sergeant Baker, Sergeant Bennett, who was a crime scene and highly trained in crime scene preservation, it was determined at that time that it was the best interest not to compromise any of the evidence to secure that evidence. At that time, I was directed
Do you remember my question, Detective?
Yes, Your Honor. You could be allowed to finish it. I think
I'm
he's
trying
answered.
to answer it.
Your Honor, can I ask my question again,
You
please?
may.
My question,
Excuse me.
Detective
You
Arrighi.
may. The objections are up.
Detective Arrighi, my question was, what did you do to preserve the crime scene?
I just stated to you exactly what we did.
I'm not asking you what anybody else did,
What
sir.
I did,
I'm asking what you did.
Okay, I photographed the evidence and limited any personnel from contaminating that particular crime scene.
Did anybody measure the
No, they did
distance
not.
between... Can I ask my question,
sorry.
please, sir?
Certainly, I'm
Before you
sorry.
answer it?
Certainly.
Thank you. Did anybody measure the distance between the decedent and those shell casings while you were there that evening?
No, sir.
Thank you. Now, you observed a blunt, right?
Yes, sir.
A marijuana cigarette?
Yes, cigar, correct.
Okay. And you can't tell us exactly how far that was from the decedent either, can you?
Not a definitive answer, but I took a photograph that depicts where that particular item was located, situated next to Odin Lloyd's body.
Did
It was in
anybody
short
measure the
proximity.
distance?
No, sir.
Thank you. You observed a white towel.
That is correct.
I think did you give us an estimate?
Yes, I give an estimate approximately 5 to 10. That was, again, approximation. It was probably more 15 to 20 feet from Odin Lloyd. It was an approximation. But that is, again, my pictures depict exactly where the
You
evidence
answered
is
the
located.
question.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, you've just given us 4 numbers, so let's start with the first one. You said 5 to 10.
Correct.
5 to 10 feet, right?
Correct. That's what I reflected in my report, yes.
Okay. So in your report, you estimated that the towel was 5 to 10 feet from the
Correct.
body of the decedent, right?
Correct, correct.
Okay. And now you want to change that today, Detective?
Well, it was more, I said, it was an approximation, approximately like maybe 15 feet, 15 to 20.
So you're telling us, sir, that when you wrote 5 to 10 feet in your report, that that was not accurate? Is that what you're telling us today, sir?
It was an approximation, sir.
Do you want to change that to 15 to 20 now that you're sitting in this courtroom?
I just stated to you what I believe approximate was, probably 15 to 20.
So when you said
Correct.
5 to 10 in your report, would you agree with me that that was a mistake?
I indicated to you it was an approximation.
Well, it's not a very good approximation. Would you agree with that?
I didn't measure it. I wasn't instructed to make any measurements.
Did anybody measure it?
No, we did not. We weren't instructed to take any measurements.
Now, you told us on direct examination that you observed what you called some fresh tire marks, right?
Well,
Was that your testimony,
Correct.
sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Correct.
You have no idea whether those tire marks had been there for 24 minutes or for 24 hours or for somewhere in between, do you, Detective Arrighi?
That's correct. I just said they were distinct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you observed some footwear impressions, right?
Yes, sir. Correct.
How many footwear impressions did you observe?
They're depicted in my photos.
How many footwear, approximately, how many footwear impressions did you observe in the area that you were looking at that night?
I believe 2. They're depicted in my photos.
It's your testimony that you observed 2 footwear impressions that night?
Correct. I can't be definitively what make it was, but the pictures that you have, those 48, those particular foot impressions are depicted in my photos. I stand by my photos.
Okay. Your photo. Excuse me, let me try my glasses. All right, this is one of your photos.
Correct.
You see a footwear impression
Correct.
up here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I also see one right below it as well, sir.
Okay, point to where you see the one below. Down here?
Correct.
Okay.
Excuse me, what number exhibit was that?
I'm sorry?
What number exhibit was that?
Well, they're all under Exhibit 99A. This is, let me, I think, thinking of rank, and this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th photograph in the series. Show you another photograph.
Sure.
See a footwear impression in that photograph, sir?
Yes, I do.
Okay, point.
Would you mind?
Right there?
Yes. Could you shrink it back to where it was, I mean, a little bit smaller? Okay. Correct.
See that one?
Yes.
That's the 11th photograph in the series. Show you another photograph. See some footwear impressions in that photograph?
Correct.
Detective?
Yes.
How many do you see?
Well, I can't say definitively. I have a footwear impression that's somewhat modeled here, and a part of it here as well.
You see one right here where I'm pointing?
Well, not here, but if I may, right here, there's some of a partial impression. I'm not sure if it's the
Let's
same
see if I
one.
can get that one. Is that where I'm pointing here?
Yes, sir, correct.
Okay. You see another one up here?
Correct.
It's a 12th photograph.
And that particular photo, part of the print is, part of the footwear impression is modeled. It's disturbed.
It's disturbed, but it's
Correct.
there, right?
Partial, correct.
Show you another photograph. 13th photograph. You see several footwear impressions in that photograph.
I'm not seeing several. I see where footwear impression.
You see one right here?
No, I do not.
You don't see that?
No, I do not. I
Okay.
I
You see this one here?
Yes, I do. Correct.
Does it remain your testimony, sir, that there were no more than 2
I'm sorry.
footprint impressions that you photographed that night, Detective Arrighi?
I can't assert to you as far as how many there were. I just told you I took numerous photos. I'm not a footwear impression expert by any means. I observed what I felt to be footwear impressions, and I photographed that to depict what I observed. I can't say before you if that's this certain sneaker or footwear on that one. I just saw what appeared to be footwear impressions, and I photographed them to depict what I observed. I stand by my photos.
There's a lot more than 2 footwear impressions in those photographs, isn't there, Detective Arrighi?
I mean, I can't say definitively. I'm by any means a specialist in footwear. I observed what I felt was footwear impressions at the scene, and I photographed them to depict what I observed. I can't state to you this sneaker or that sneaker or shoe. I have no training whatsoever as far as the forensic of footwear impressions. Absolutely not. I stand by my photos.
Have you completed your answer, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now, shortly after you arrived, you decided to collect some evidence, right?
That's incorrect. No.
Okay. Well, did someone tell you to collect some evidence?
As I stated previously,
When a question can be answered yes or no, I'm going to
sorry.
ask you just to answer it yes or no.
Thank you, Your Honor.
did I speak to someone previously?
The question was, did someone instruct you to collect some evidence, Detective?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Who was that?
Captain Lorenzo?
And when Captain Lorenzo, he's also a member of the North Attleboro Police Department, right?
Yes, sir.
And when he instructed you to collect some evidence, by the way, it wasn't raining at that time, was it, sir? Yes or no?
No, it was not.
Thank you. Do you have any training in evidence collection at crime scenes, Detective?
Yes.
Tell us about the training you have in evidence collection.
Again, when I attended the academy in March of 1986, I attended a 22-week program that was presented by the Mass State Police, basic crime scene preservation, etc. And I've been a detective for 15 years, and I've secured evidence previously from other crime scenes.
So back in 1986, that's 29 years ago?
Yes.
Okay. That was when you were at the police academy?
Yes.
Okay. And part of the, one of the classes you took at the police academy had to do with crime scenes?
Yes.
And as part of that class about crime scenes, you learned something about collecting evidence?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And other than that class, sir, in 1986, do you have any other training in collecting evidence at crime scenes?
No, I haven't been in any specialized training, no.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Now, what evidence did you pick up at the scene, Detective Origi?
I picked up 5 shell casings. I picked up a Red Sox hat, and I picked up a blunt that was situated to the right of Odin Lloyd.
Okay. And did someone else pick up the towel?
Yes.
That was Detective Elliott?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you told us that it's at some point it started to rain, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
And did you tell us that it started to rain at approximately 6:50?
Yes, sir.
10 minutes to 7?
That is correct.
That was about an hour after you got there?
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
correct.
And you told us that it rained heavily.
It poured out, correct.
It was
Heavy
a
winds.
downpour, right?
It was a downpour, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Can you estimate how much it rained in inches, half an inch, an inch? Any estimate you can give us about the volume of rain?
It rained heavily where at the time we had a tent set up to keep us out of the element. It was a complete downpour. Again, it was a rapid change in weather.
How long did it rain for? Heavily.
Heavily? I don't recall it. It was a heavy rain, and again, we took cover underneath the tent after we had made some other measurements.
Sir, I didn't ask you about measurements or taking cover.
I
I asked
couldn't-
you how long it rained.
I don't recall exactly. I can't give you a time frame. It poured for a while, and I couldn't give you a definitive answer.
Well, did it pour for more than half an hour or less than half an hour?
I don't recall, sir. I really couldn't give you. I don't want to speculate to the jurors here. I don't recall.
Now, do you remember about what time it stopped raining?
I really can't give you a definitive answer. I wasn't timing, the rainfall, the storm.
You've answered the question.
Okay.
I'm going to just ask
Okay.
you to listen carefully to the question, just
Okay.
answer the specific questions asked, and not
Okay.
go on and add anything.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Detective, after it stopped raining, someone took the tarp off of the decedent's body, right?
Correct.
Okay. And someone took down the canopy that was over the decedent's body, right?
Correct.
Who did that?
I have no idea.
Were you there when that happened?
No, I was not. I was at the crime scene, but I wasn't there when they were doing those acts that you just mentioned, sir.
Where were you?
I was back at my cruiser, interacting with the captain. I can't sit here before you and tell you who, in fact, took the top. Then I can't tell you. I have no idea. I was doing a multitude of things that day.
Well, you said that again.
Yep.
Other than taking some photographs and picking up some evidence, tell us the rest of the multitude of things you were doing, please.
Certainly. I was interacting on my cell phone, speaking to various troopers. I was walking back to my car, putting the evidence in my vehicle, which again was approximately 200 to 300 yards from the crime scene, walking back to my car, walking back, interacting with my captain, or interacting with the chief of police. Again, it wasn't one particular task. I was involved doing a multitude of things. I can't tell you who took down the top. I can't.
Anything else you can think of that you did at the crime scene that night?
Secured the blunt?
You told us that already.
Okay, I'm
Anything
sorry.
else?
I believe that's it, sir.
Now, you told us that later that evening you went to Aaron Hernandez's home, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
And you went there with State Trooper Shervin.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how did the two of you get there?
I drove, I was accompanied Trooper Sherman in his unmarked Ford Escape.
Okay. So the two of you went to Mr. Hernandez's home together in one car?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was either of you in a police uniform?
No, sir.
How were you dressed?
Just like this, business attire, suit and tie, just I just seen me here today.
And how was Trooper Shervin dressed?
Trooper Sherman was wearing a dark-colored dress pants. He was dressed professional, tie, white shirt. He had his badge attached to his belt and his firearm to his right side.
Okay.
That
You
was displayed.
were both wearing civilian clothes, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Business attire.
Okay. And when you got to Mr. Hernandez's home, you said that you pulled into his driveway?
We pulled in the driveway, yes, sir. I didn't, Trooper Sherman did.
And you had flashlights with you?
Yes.
And this was a little before 10 o'clock at night, right?
That is correct, sir, yes.
Okay. It's dark out, right?
Yes, sir.
This is a residential neighborhood, right?
Yes, it is, sir.
You're both dressed in civilian clothes, right?
Business attire, yes.
Now, were you invited to drive into his driveway?
Did I obtain an invitation? No.
And after you got there, you said you went to the front door.
Yes.
And you knocked on the door, and you rang the bell, right?
Yes, sir.
And by you, I mean you and Trooper Shervin. Right?
Okay, yes, sir. That's
Okay.
fair.
Okay. And nobody answered the door at 9:45 at night, right?
That's correct.
And then you peeked into the windows, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you peeked into the windows, and you could see the first floor, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you could see that you didn't see any people on the first floor, right?
No, we did not.
At 9:45 at night, right?
No, we did not. No, correct.
And then you went around the back, right?
Yes.
And you went into the garage?
No, that's incorrect. We paid into the garage. We didn't go into the garage. The garage
Okay,
doors were
you
closed.
peeked into the garage.
Correct. I didn't.
Where were you?
I was there, but I assisted Trooper Sherman as far as looking at. You physically couldn't. The garage doors were very high. The windows were very high. I assisted Trooper Sherman like this, 10 fingers, and he stepped into my hand and I lifted him up.
So you gave Trooper Shervin a boost.
Correct.
So he could
Correct.
peek in the windows of the garage.
Yes, correct.
And then the two of you went into Aaron Hernandez's backyard, right?
Yes, sir, correct.
Were you invited to go into his backyard?
No, we're not.
And you saw the pool, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. And then you peeked into the windows in the backyard, right?
Yes, sir.
And you still didn't see anybody inside, right?
No, sir.
But you saw that there were some lights on upstairs, right?
Correct.
And you saw that there were cars there, right?
A car there, yes, correct, and there was one also inside the garage.
Okay. So, based on your extensive experience as a detective, did you conclude that probably somebody was home at 9:45 at night?
We didn't know.
Did you agree with me that was a distinct possibility?
If someone was home,
Yes, sir.
I really couldn't make that estimation. There was an element of concern because we obtained a set of keys, the 2013...
Well, I'm going to
I'm sorry.
ask you to just listen again.
Okay, sure.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, after you peeked in the windows in the back, you guys went back to Trooper Shervin's. You pulled out of the driveway, right?
No, that's incorrect, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, did you stay in the driveway, or did you go back? Did you go down to the street?
No, you asked me once we're in the backyard, then we progressed to a next-door neighbor to inquire about Aaron.
Ah, okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, at what point did you pull out of Mr. Hernandez's driveway and go down to the street?
Approximately 10:30.
Okay. So you did that before you went to the neighbor?
That's correct. Absolutely correct.
Okay. So that was after you peeked in the backyard and before you went to the neighbor, right?
Correct.
So after you peeked in the backyard and before you went to the neighbor, you backed out of the driveway and went down to the street, right?
We returned back to the car, then we backed out of the street, correct?
Right. You
Yes,
couldn't
sir.
back out of the street until you got to the car, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You went to the car and you backed out and parked on the street, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And then you went to the neighbor.
Negative, sir. Negative. I'm sorry.
Please tell me
Yes.
the chronology.
I'm trying to, sir. Please listen to me.
I'm listening.
As I went from the backyard, we then progressed to the side of the house, and then we went to Joe Judge's house and interacted with him. At that time, after our conversation took place with Joe Judge, we returned back to our car, Trooper Shervin's unmarked cruiser, and then we retreated from the driveway and parked on the street.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So it was after you went to Mr. Judge's house that you went back to the street?
That is correct.
All right, I got it. Okay.
Thank you.
And so when you went to, so of course, one way to locate Mr. Hernandez at 9:45 at night, other than banging on his door, would have been to call him on the phone, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you knew that Mr. Hernandez played for the New England Patriots, right?
Yes.
Okay. And do you think you could have gotten Mr. Hernandez's cell phone number from the New England Patriots?
We attempted that.
And you attempted it by talking, by the coincidence that the house that you knocked on the door of, Mr. Judge, happened to be a coach for the Patriots, right?
Correct, correct. And he contacted the Director of Security to hopefully contact Aaron Hernandez, correct.
Did you do anything else other than talk to Mr. Judge to try to obtain Aaron Hernandez's cell phone number that evening?
Yes, we asked Joe Judge. He didn't have that particular information, and he contacted the Director of Security and left a message with Mr. Briggs, the Director of Security, to contact Aaron.
All right, let me ask my question again.
Sure.
Other than speaking to Mr. Judge, did you take any other action, you and Trooper Shervin take any other action that evening to try to find out what his cell phone number was?
At that time, no, that's all we had.
All right. Now, so you were sitting out in front of Mr. Hernandez's house.
Correct.
In your car when he came out of the house,
Yes, sir.
walked down towards you,
Yes.
and had a conversation with you, right?
Yes, sir. Correct.
And sometime later, he came out of the house a second time and went to a car, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what kind of car was that?
White Audi?
A white Audi.
Yes.
Okay.
White Audi SUV, sport utility.
Okay. And when Aaron Hernandez went to that car, Cheyenne Jenkins and their baby also went to that car, right?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. And the three of them followed you to the police station, is that right?
Correct. They came to the station, correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And am I correct that Ms. Jenkins and the baby dropped Aaron Hernandez off at the police station?
Yes.
Okay. So he got out of the car and went into the police station, right?
Yes, correct.
And after he got out of the car and went into the police station, Ms. Jenkins and their baby started driving away, right?
Yes, sir, correct.
Driving home, is that a fair assumption?
Yes, fair assumption, yes.
It was 11 o'clock at night by then, right?
Correct.
And you and Trooper Shervin, activated his blue lights and pulled her over, right?
Correct.
Now, when the two of you pulled Cheyenne Jenkins and her baby over at 11 o'clock at night, was she committing any traffic infraction?
No, he activated the blue lights.
Can you answer my question?
No,
Was
no.
she committing any traffic infraction?
No, sir.
So the reason that you pulled her over was because you wanted to talk to her, right?
That's fair, correct.
And when you went over to talk to her, the baby was in the car asleep, right?
Yes,
But you wanted to talk to her, right?
yes,
Okay.
correct.
And you asked her to turn around, go back to the police station so you could have a conversation with her in the parking lot of the police
Well,
station.
not in that context. We requested that she, we wanted to speak, we asked her,
I'm not asking for what the conversation was. I'm asking if you asked her to go back to the police station so you could talk to her.
and some content like that, yes.
Okay. And she did, right?
Yes, she fully cooperated with us, yes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Sir, when you had that initial conversation with Cheyenne Jenkins, did she indicate she was willing to speak with you?
Yes.
Okay. And as a result of that, did she pull off somewhere where you could engage in a conversation?
Yes,
And
yes.
where was that?
That was the employee lot. It's located directly across from our police station.
Okay. During that initial, you spoke to her at that time?
Yes, myself and Trooper Shervin.
And during that time, that initial conversation, just describe how did she appear? What was her demeanor? And
Her demeanor, respectful, cordial to us.
okay. And did that change at some point?
Yes,
Okay. And Mr. Sultan was asking you questions about the context of the conversation that you had with her,
yes.
and what was the context?
We inquired,
Objection is sustained.
Okay. At some point, did she indicate she no longer wished to speak to
I
you?
object. The
Objection is sustained. The question's ordered stricken.
What, if anything, did you do to prevent her from leaving?
nothing. She was free to go at any given time.
And at some point, did she leave?
Yes, she did.
Whose decision was that?
Hers.
Okay. And what had happened just prior to her decision to leave?
Objection beyond scope.
Sustained.
Now, sir, you were asked questions about certain footwear impressions,
Correct.
and you've indicated you're not an expert, is that right?
No, I'm not.
How did you attempt to preserve footprints at that scene?
By taking numerous photographs of the footwear impressions I observed at that particular scene.
And if I could, Your Honor. First of all, sir, you described a scuff mark.
Correct.
Did you photograph that?
Yes, I did.
And just describe, where was that scuff mark?
That scuff mark was located directly in front of, on the packed surface soil by his Odin's left foot.
And I'm just going to put number 99Q. Does that photograph show the scuff marks?
Yes.
Okay. Just if you point that out, okay? You're indicating, I'm sorry, right in here.
Correct.
And what caused you to take a photograph of that?
Well, I took a note of that because it appeared, it was a scuff mark that was just before his foot, within inches of it. It appeared he had like fallen back, and it was a scuff mark of his back of his foot going back. That's why I photographed that.
Were there other footwear, as you referred to, footwear impressions that you wanted to preserve?
Yes.
And how did you do that?
I took numerous photos of those that were in the soft soil where the tire tracks were present.
And Mr. Sultan asked you about footwear impressions around the body. Did you photograph the ones that you saw?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Yes. So I'm just going to show you what the mark is. It's at 50, excuse me, 55. To recognize what's depicted in this diagram.
Yes.
And just if you would orient us to the area where you were taking your photographs of the footwear impressions that you saw.
Right in here.
And you're indicating, sir, I'm just going to
Sorry.
put my finger.
Correct. Yes. Correct. Exactly. Correct.
Okay. And what is this, these markings? Did you see similar markings at the scene?
Yes.
And what were those?
Tire impressions.
And how many photos did you take of the footwear impressions that you saw?
Several.
Okay. And when you indicated that there was, the weather was changing,
Yes.
certain areas were covered.
Yes.
Was that area covered? Where we're just pointing to?
The one that yes.
Okay.
Correct.
And where you had photographed those, when Mr. Sultan was showing you particular pictures, was that area covered?
Yes.
And why was it covered?
To preserve the integrity of the evidence, so it wasn't compromised.
I'm just going to show you what's been marked now, 99I. And Mr. excuse me, Sultan had pointed out, do you recall him showing you this?
Yes.
And I don't know that it was 99I.
I'm not sure.
He showed you a photograph similar to this.
Yes, he showed me, I mean, the particular photos that I had taken, the 48.
Okay, this is one of those.
Yes, it is.
And I'm going to put 99J.
Correct.
No, 99J. And that depicts certain footwear impressions that you photographed?
Yes, that is correct.
And I'm going to show you what's been marked 99K. Is that also, did you take photographs of that area?
Yes, sir, correct.
And does that also show, or your attempt to preserve footwear impressions?
Yes, yes, sir.
99L,
Yes,
is that in that area, general
Yes.
area as well?
correct, correct.
99M,
Correct. Yes.
99N,
Correct.
99O,
Correct.
10:59 p. Is that right?
Correct.
And those were all your photographs?
Correct.
And all of those photographs were in what area?
In close proximity to Odin Lloyd's body, in the soft soil,
Okay.
soft gravel.
And again, when you say the soft soil, where did you see that soft soil? Where were those?
Right where you have the tire track marked here on the diagram, in this area.
Right over in here.
Correct.
Now, at any time, sir, did you take any photographs or observe with your own eyes any footwear impressions in this area over here?
No, not at all.
And sir, you were asking questions just about the distance, what you initially had estimated as to the distance of the towel
Correct.
from the body of Odin Lloyd?
Correct.
And what did you initially estimate?
I initially estimated 5 to 10 feet, and that was approximation.
When you were initially at the scene and making observations, were you taking notes?
No, I was not.
Okay. And later on, did you have an occasion to look at a photograph of
Yeah.
the scene?
Yes.
Okay. And this, sir, just putting a 3, mark 3C, does that fairly inaccurately reflect the scene when you first arrived and saw it?
Yes, that
Is
is
there anything
correct.
different about that?
No, not at all.
How about the location of the towel?
No, that's correct. That's exactly where that particular towel was situated when I arrived there.
Okay, so is it fair to say if it's not 5 to 10 feet, you did make a mistake in your estimate?
Yes, I did.
And sir, when yourself and Trooper Shervin went to the home of the defendant, you described what you were wearing.
Correct.
Did you have a coat on?
No, I did not. Just like this, business attire.
Okay, but did you have a suit jacket on?
Yes, suit jacket, I'm sorry, yes, suit
Okay,
jacket.
and what about Trooper Shervin?
Trooper Shervin, no, he had a white shirt on with a tie, again with his badge displayed and his firearm.
Okay, and when you say the badge displayed in the firearm, is that right?
Yes.
Were you able, you viewed a certain video in this case, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And you indicated that this is Exhibit 83, that first segment. Was that the time that you spent at the premises?
Correct.
Your initial?
Correct.
And just with regard to that, did you, what was your purpose in going to the home?
To speak to Aaron Hernandez regards to the rental of the 2013 Chevy Suburban.
What caused you to want to speak to him about that vehicle?
Because we located the keys on Odin Lloyd's person, which was rented by Aaron Hernandez.
Okay. Was there a reason you were then peeking in the garage?
Yes,
What were you looking for?
the 2013 Chevy Suburban.
Okay. And during the course of time that you, did you make efforts to rouse anybody in the home?
Yes, yes.
How'd you do it?
Ringing the doorbell numerous times, knocking on the door. We're looking in there with the flashlights. I mean, we're trying to raise somebody. There's an element of concern because we located keys on Odin Lloyd's person that come back to Aaron Hernandez.
Were you aware of any other officers at that time just trying to locate the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how loudly did you knock on the door?
Trooper Shiven knocked, intimately, then increased, knocked louder to try to raise somebody. We're trying to raise somebody to, it was an element of concern to try to
Well, I'm
locate
going to
Aaron.
strike that after we were trying. Listen carefully to the question. The question was simply, how loudly did you knock?
How loud
Intermittently,
was it?
loudly, and I got louder.
Okay.
know,
And
calm
what,
down more.
any other efforts to contact any of the occupants?
Continuously ringing the doorbell,
Okay.
and we could hear it going off.
Now, at some point when you had you indicated there was a conversation, or Mr. Rankin said about the phone, trying to get a cell phone number?
Correct.
Did you make an effort to do that?
Yes, we did.
Okay, and how did you do that?
We spoke to Joe Judge, special teams coach, who attempted to contact the director of security in order to get a hold of Aaron Hernandez.
Okay, was that successful?
No, and at that time, no.
Okay. And later on, when you spoke with Mr. Hernandez, did he suggest to you he didn't know that you were police officers?
No, he never made any mention of that.
What in fact did he say?
When he approached us, he informed us that he was monitoring us in his yard, in the backyard, on his home surveillance system. He was watching us the whole time as we at the front door, ringing the doorbell, walk around back, and then in the backyard.
And how long had you been there before you had this conversation with him?
From approximately 9:40 to 10:30 at night. He monitored us. He zoomed in on the camera.
And I'm going to strike everything after the word night, remind you to listen to the question,
Sorry,
just
Your Honor.
answer the question that's asked.
I'm sorry, sir, just how long in terms of number of minutes?
From 9:40 to 10:30.
So how long is that?
Almost an hour and a half. 45 minutes, I'm sorry.
Okay. And, Your Honor, if I could, I'd like to play Exhibit 83 at this time.
You may.
So I'm just going to ask you to view your monitor to your left. Sir, what does this show here?
That's Trooper Sherman and myself pulling up into 22 Round C. Maya Drive, the residence of Aaron Hernandez, pulling into the driveway.
Okay.
Approximately 9:40 p.m. Progressing into the driveway.
Okay, just wait for my next question, please. Where are you now?
I'm seated in the passenger seat in Trooper Sherman's unmarked
Okay.
police cruiser.
And where are you in relation to the home?
We're up in the driveway before the garage area, by the front door area.
Okay. Do you see any other vehicles at this time?
Yes.
What vehicle was located in the driveway?
Directly before us, or in front of us, a white Audi Sport Utility.
Okay. And this is at approximately what time?
9:40.
Okay. And now, who's who in this?
Trooper Sherman is the white shirt, and I'm in the suit directly behind him.
Okay.
Dark colored suit.
In what direction were you heading?
Headed towards the front door. There's Trooper Sherman in the white shirt.
Did you see something on Trooper Sherman's right hip?
Yes.
What is that?
His firearm and holster.
You indicated before he had a badge also
Yes,
affixed?
his badge is displayed to the left side, and his set of handcuffs tucked in.
Your Honor, other than what's displayed in the photograph. If he's narrating the photograph,
Objection is sustained.
Now, what is Trooper Sherman doing?
Knocking on the door,
What are you doing?
ringing the doorbell.
What are you doing there?
Ringing the doorbell again.
How many times did you ring it?
Several times, yeah.
What is Trooper Sherman doing?
Knocking on the
Your Honor, I
door.
object to this. We've been through this. He can show the video, but we don't need a narration.
Objection is sustained.
So is that the end of that video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, I have no further questions.
Very briefly, Detective, the two of you were in civilian clothes, right?
Business attire, yes.
Right. And you were wandering around Mr. Hernandez's home at 10:30 at night with flashlights peeking into windows, right?
Well, peering into the windows, yes.
Do you know of any requirement that a private citizen of North Attleboro has to answer his door at 10:30 at night, sir?
No, he does not have to.
Thank you.
Nothing further, Your
You may
Honor.
step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm going to call Officer John Grimm, please.
Like this way, sir, please follow me. Close your hands right now.
Sir, your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God.
I do.
Have a seat, sir.
Thank you.
May, Your Honor.
You may.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
State your full name, please,
John Grimm,
and can you spell your last name, please?
G-R-I-M.
If I could have one moment, Your Honor.
You may.
Sir, where do you work?
I work for the town of North Attleboro.
And what do you do for the town of North Attleboro?
I'm a police officer, sir.
How long have you been a police officer?
18 years.
And how are you currently assigned?
I'm assigned to the patrol division.
Directing your attention back to June 17, 2013, were you working on that date?
Yes, sir.
And how were you assigned?
I was assigned to the patrol division. I worked the 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. shift.
Okay. And at some time, at approximately sometime after 5:30, 5:35, do you recall where you were?
I was inside the North Attleboro police station.
And at that time, did you receive some information?
I did, sir.
And how did you receive that?
I was inside of dispatch, and they had me respond to 344 John Deach Boulevard.
Okay. And did you do that?
Yes, sir.
And how did you do that?
I went in my cruiser with lights and sirens.
And how long is that, what distance is that from the North Attleboro Police Department to 344 John Deach?
About 4.5 miles.
Okay. And how long did it take you?
About 5 minutes.
And when you arrived, where did you go?
I pulled into the front entrance to this location.
And just tell us what you did after you pulled into the front entrance.
Pulled into the front entrance, informed dispatch that I had arrived. I located 2 subjects standing in the area.
Okay. And these 2 subjects, just how were they dressed?
Casual attire. One was dressed in, looked like gym clothes, running clothes, and another gentleman just in, I believe, jeans.
Okay. And the individual in the gym clothes, approximately how old was that individual?
He was a young man, about 15, 16 years of age.
Okay. And how about this other gentleman?
He was an older gentleman, probably my age, around mid-40s.
Okay. Did you have any conversation with them?
I did.
And as a result of that conversation, did you provide anything to them?
I did, sir.
And what did you provide to them?
I provided them both with witness statements to fill out.
Okay. Now, after you did that, did you go somewhere?
I did.
Where did you go?
I walked down to where Captain Dorenzo and Officer Kevin McEwen were standing.
Okay. And how far was that from where you met these, the young man and the older man?
Approximately 75 yards, sir.
And when you headed in that direction at some point, did you make observations of something?
I did, sir.
And what was that?
I observed a African-American male lying on his back.
And when you headed that way and met with the officers, were they in that vicinity?
They were, sir.
Who was there at that time?
At that time, there was Officer Kevin McEwen, Captain Joseph Dorenzo, and Detective Dana Riggi.
Okay. And as a result of you arriving, was there some conversation, just yes or no?
Yes.
And after that, what did you do?
After that conversation?
Yes, sir.
We walked back up to where the cruisers were parked and obtained some police tape to cordon off the area.
Okay. And did you do that with anybody?
I did that with Officer Kevin McEwen, sir.
Okay. Now, after you had, were you able to cordon off the area with some yellow tape?
Yes, sir.
And after you did that, what did you do?
I grabbed my clipboard, a couple pieces of paper, and put on some black latex gloves.
Okay. Where did you go from there?
I went back down to where Captain Dorenzo and Detective Arrighi were standing.
Okay. And at some point, did you have any interaction with Detective Arrighi?
I did.
As a result of that, did you assist him in some way?
I did.
And what were you doing?
I was taking notes as he was gathering some items off the ground.
And what types of items was he gathering off the ground?
There was a Red Sox baseball hat, there was a white towel, and there were 5 .45 caliber shell casings.
Okay. And what were you doing during this time that he was gathering these items?
I was writing this information down on a piece of paper that was on my clipboard, sir.
Okay. And just describe how you were recording it. Were you providing some description about the area where these items that you observed?
Yes.
Okay. How long were you engaged in that with Detective Arrighi?
Approximately 20 minutes, sir.
And at some point, did you see him doing anything else?
Yes.
What was he doing?
He was placing items inside of evidence bags.
And did you see him doing anything with the evidence bags?
He was marking them, and then eventually he brought them back up to his cruiser, sir.
Now, at some point, did you, excuse me, did you ever see him with a camera?
I did, sir.
And what did you see him doing with the camera?
He was taking extensive photographs of the individual lying on the ground, also the items that we were collecting.
Okay. Now, during the course of the time that you assisted him, where were you moving about or were you standing still?
We were moving about, sir.
Okay. And what areas were you covering?
I'm sorry?
Oh, I'm sorry. What areas were you covering?
The upper part where the individual was lying. We also walked down towards his feet where the white towel was located.
Okay. And after you were in that area, at some point did you move toward an area as if you were heading back toward the entrance?
Yes.
Did you see any disturbance to the ground or the surface in that area?
I did, sir.
And just describe it.
Appeared to be tire tracks.
Okay. Did you make any other observations where you made observations of what appeared to be tire tracks?
Yes.
Okay, and what was that?
Where the location of it was?
No, I'm sorry, sir. Where you observed what appeared to be tire tracks, did you see any other disturbance in that same area?
Yes.
And what did you see?
I saw some foot impressions into the dirt.
Okay. And just describe the dirt or, in that area as compared to the area near the body.
The area near the body was hard, compressed soil, almost like a clay-like material, had a great reddish hue to it. The area where the tire tracks and the footprints or foot impressions were located was a more sandy type material, more of a loose type material of that nature.
Did you see Detective Arrighi doing anything with his camera in that area?
Yes, sir.
And what did you see him doing?
He was taking photographs of the tire impressions and of the foot impressions in the dirt.
And do you know how many photos he took or how long he spent over in that area?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, just describe, at some point, was there something about the weather that attracted your attention?
Yes, sir.
And what was that?
It was obvious that a large thunderstorm was approaching the area.
Okay. And did you do anything as a result of that?
We did.
What did you do?
We started to collect the items that were photographed.
That's what he did, not what we did.
Objection sustained.
Okay. Were you assisting anybody when
Yes.
you were doing this? Who were you assisting?
Detective Arrighi.
Okay. So what were the two of you doing?
We were starting to collect evidence.
Okay. And how was that any different than you had described about the items that the hat and the showcase?
No, it's no difference.
Okay. And after those items were collected, at some point, did you do anything else with regard to that scene?
Yes, sir.
And what was that?
We covered the tire tracks and the body with tarps and some collapsible canopies.
Okay. Now, how many items were covered?
A total of 4 items were covered.
Okay, and just describe those. What were they?
The first item we covered was the victim, the body we found lying there.
How was he covered?
He was covered with a red tarp that we placed over him. We secured the tarp with some large rocks from the site, and then we took one of the collapsible canopies and placed it over this tarp in an effort to keep that as preserved as much as possible.
Okay. What other area was covered?
The second area that was covered was the tire tracks that we located. Myself and Detective Michael Elliott did that. Again, we took a red tarp, we placed it over the tire tracks. We found some large rocks, and placed it over that.
Okay. Now, at some point while you were in this area, did you make any observations of a white towel?
I did, sir.
Okay, and where was it located generally?
It was about 4 to 5 yards from the left foot of the individual that was lying on the ground.
Okay. And did you see what happened to that towel?
I did not, sir.
Okay, do you know who recovered the towel?
I do, sir.
Okay, and who recovered it?
That was Detective Mike Elliott.
And do you know how he recovered it?
He placed it inside of a brown evidence bag.
Okay. And that area, where was that area, the towel area, with regard to the body?
It was, as I stated, about 4 to 5 yards from his left foot, so it'd be off his left foot to the side, sir.
Okay. Now, did you ever see Detective Arrighi down in that area photographing anything?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what did you see him photographing?
He photographed the towel, sir.
Okay. Now, as a result, you indicated there were 4 areas you covered. What other areas did you cover?
We covered another foot impression. Detective Elliott did that. And then I discovered another foot impression, and I covered that with the canopy. The collapsible canopy came in a casing, and we didn't have any more tarps. So I used that canopy casing to cover the foot impression that I located.
Okay. And so and that totaled the 4 areas you had covered.
Yes, sir.
And you indicated Detective Elliott covered the 3rd one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did he have some form of tarp or cover?
A similar tarp that we used to cover the victim's body and the tire tracks, sir.
Okay. What happened, or how long after you had covered these areas did the weather change?
It was about 6:50 in the evening when it started to rain, sir.
Okay. And how long before, if you remember, how much time before when you had actually covered these 4 areas?
About 15, 20 minutes, sir.
Okay. Now, and you indicated it started raining approximately 6:50. Do you know how long it rained?
About an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay, and how hard or soft did it rain?
It rained pretty hard. It was a pretty good rain, rain soaking.
And do you recall how long it was raining as a soaking rain versus just a lighter rain?
I don't, sir.
Okay. If I could approach you,
You may.
I'm just going to show you a photograph and ask you if you recognize it.
I do, sir.
And what do you recognize that to be?
That's the bottom of the boots I was wearing the night in question.
Okay. And at some point after this date were they photographed?
They were, sir.
Okay, and they fairly portrayed here the soles of those?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You want to offer this as the next exhibit?
And mark as the next exhibit.
Thank you.
You may.
The place that's now marked as 100. Is that the photo I just showed you?
Yes, sir.
Now, sir, that area below where the towel is, so further away from the body, beyond the towel, do you recall seeing any other officers or personnel at the scene in that area?
No, sir.
Just going to place now what was previously marked as 55 on the screen. You recognize the scene depicted in this diagram?
I do, sir.
Okay, what do you recognize to be?
The area in which the individual was located.
You indicated you saw Detective Arrighi taking photographs of footwear impressions,
Yes, sir.
and can you just indicate where that located?
It would be in this area, sir.
You're indicating?
Right here.
Okay. With regard to the tire tracks, let me ask you this. Do you see tire track impressions in this diagram?
I do, sir.
And does this fairly represent the distance of the tire tracks? Does this fairly represent the distance of the tire tracks?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm just going to place 3C on the diagram. Recognize this, sir?
I do?
Okay. Does this photograph depict tire tracks?
It does, sir.
And how long were the tire tracks that you observed that day at the scene?
How long were the tire tracks, sir?
Yes, sir.
About 15 yards.
Okay. And how much of those tire tracks were you able to cover?
About half of it.
Okay. And when you say about half of it, how big was that tarp?
Probably 6 by 8.
A 6 what, feet or yards?
6 foot by 8 foot tarp, sir.
Okay. And the footwear that you indicated that Detective Arrighi was photographing, where were those footprints in relation to the tire tracks that were covered?
In that general same area, sir.
Okay, when you say in that general area, can you be more specific?
Right outside of the track of the tire itself. And one footprint was actually inside of the tire track, sir.
Okay. Yes, thank you. So I'm going to show you what was marked 99I. Is that one of the photographs that Detective Arrighi, is that an area of the tire tracks that Detective Arrighi photographed?
Yes, sir.
99J, is that right?
Yes, sir.
See that, 99J there? This area, where was this in relation to where that tarp was placed?
The tarp was placed over that, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know that I asked you that, the last one, 99I, is that also included in the area that the tarp was placed?
Yes, sir.
99K,
Yes, sir.
99L,
Yes, sir.
99M,
Yes, sir.
99N,
Yes, sir.
99O,
Yes, sir.
last one, 99P.
Yes, sir.
In terms of the footwear that you saw Detective Arrighi photographing, is there any, just specific to footwear, did you see him taking any photos of an area away from the area of the tarp where the tarp had been placed over those tire tracks?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and where was that?
The footwear that I located, sir.
Footwear that you located?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where in these photos do you see a photo of that?
He has to show them the photos, Your Honor, respectfully.
I will. Have you had an occasion to review the photos
I have, sir.
of Detective Arrighi?
Yes, sir.
Would you agree with me there are approximately 48?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you would, just take your time, take a look through those and please identify that. Sir, have you been able to locate that?
I have not been able to locate that, sir.
Okay, so does that, you're looking through and not finding, does that refresh your memory as to whether there was a picture in the area where you've indicated you put a cover?
It does, sir.
Okay, and what is your memory?
My memory is that Detective Riggi did not shoot a photograph of the footprint that I found and covered it with a canopy cover, sir.
Have you, let me just ask you this, have you seen another photograph of a footprint that you believe, or that is the one that you covered?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and do you know whether a different photographer photoed that?
Yes, sir.
Do you know who the photographer is?
No, sir, I do not.
I'm sorry?
No, sir.
Okay. And I'm just going to show you what's now marked 69J and ask you if you recognize this photo.
I do, sir.
Okay, and what do you recognize that to be?
It appears to be a photo that was taken at the crime scene.
Okay, but just with regard to your, the footprint that you covered up, do you recognize this?
Yes, sir.
What do you recognize?
That's
to
the
be?
footprint that I covered up.
Okay. Now, back to my question. Do you know whether Detective Riggi took this photograph?
I do not know that, sir.
Okay. And that the one, the stack that I just showed you, the 48 photos, you don't see this photo, 69J, in this?
I do not, sir.
Okay. I could have one moment, Your Honor. And sir, did you, at some point after the storm, were the tarps removed?
Were they removed? Yes, sir.
And were you, how long did you remain at the scene?
I remained at the scene until 9:30.
Okay. Are you familiar with the unit Crime Scene Services?
Yes, sir.
Did you see any member of the Crime Scene Service unit on scene?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what time they arrived?
Lieutenant Bennett arrived at about 6:50, sir.
Okay. Do you know an individual by the name of Trooper Michael Lombard?
I do, sir.
Do you remember what time he came?
I believe it was about 8:20.
Okay. And did you see what he was doing at the scene?
I did, sir.
And what was he doing?
He was videotaping the scene?
And at some point after the tarps were taken off, did you see anything happen with regard to the body of this young man?
Yes, sir.
And what was that?
An inventory was done of the young man's property, what he had on him.
Okay. And when you say an inventory, were you taking note of that?
I was, sir.
And just describe what was inventoried from his body.
From his front left pocket was a set of keys. It had on a Blue Hill Fitness Club key tag and a Rite Aid key tag. In his front right pocket was a keychain, another keychain with a set of keys on it. It indicated it came from a rental car company. It also indicated a registration number on that keychain. And that registration number was 442427. His back right pocket contained a wallet with various cards in it. Inside of that wallet, we located a Massachusetts driver's license, which we were able to ID the young man that was lying on the ground as a Mr. Odin Lloyd from Boston, Massachusetts. In his left back pocket was $64.75 in American currency, broken down as 3 20s, 4 $1 bills, and 3 quarters. And he had on a blue zip-up type hooded sweatshirt, type that zip in the front. And inside of that was an HTC Droid cell phone, which was taken by a member of the Massachusetts State Police, Crime Scene Service detective.
And as those items were removed from his body, did you see what would happen to them?
Yes, sir. Detective Sergeant Chris Sissia would place them individually in brown evidence bags and mark them.
Okay. Now, you indicated you stayed there till approximately 9:30?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall, after that evening, did you ever return back to the scene?
I did, sir.
And when did you next return, if you remember?
That Friday night at midnight, I did a security detail at the crime scene from 12 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Okay. And do you know how long that scene was preserved in terms of security details?
I don't know when the last one was, sir.
Okay. I have one more.
Me.
Nothing further. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, could we suspend now rather than break up and
Yes,
cross?
yes, it's a couple minutes to 4. We're going to suspend it this time. Keep your minds suspended. Please continue to avoid anything about this case or Mr. Hernandez that could appear in any newspaper or television or magazine or any other media, or that may appear in Facebook or Twitter or any social media or anywhere else. Please continue to avoid speaking or emailing or texting or otherwise communicating in any form with anyone at all, including each other, about this case or Mr. Hernandez. And if anyone starts any kind of communication with you about your jury service or Mr. Hernandez or this case, please end it immediately. Do not do any research about the case, Mr. Hernandez, or anything else that you think could be relevant in any way to this case. I hope you are able to enjoy this long weekend, keeping safe in the snow. Absent some weather issue, we will start up again on Tuesday at 9 o'clock. Monday is a public holiday. Thank you.
But all right. He. All persons having anything further to do before the Honorable, the Justice E. Susan Gosh of the Superior Court, now sitting at Fall River within and for the Commonwealth, depart and give your attendance here Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., to which time and place the sitting of this court is now adjourned. God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Court is now adjourned.